Hi, I'm Chef Lisa of Orange Pomegranate. Today I'm making asparagus and mushroom salad with walnuts, and I'll be using my pure and simple seasonings Jamaican jerk. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is toast the spice that goes into the salad dressing, and we're going to use it in two different ways. We're going to use it in the dressing, and then we're also going to use it to season the walnuts. So I'm just going to take a half a teaspoon of spice, and you just want to toast this in a dry skillet until you can smell it. And I need to have a bowl available, so because if I left this in the pan even after turning off the heat, it'll still cook. My next thing to do is walnuts. So I need a half a cup of walnuts, and then I'm going to chop them up. You can chop them up after you cook them or before. I think it's easier before because then you don't have to wait for them to cool down. And it's just a coarse chop. And I'm starting to smell my spice, and it's starting to smoke, which is a good thing. Let me try to scrape this out. And toasting just brings out more of the flavor and the oils that are in the spice. Makes some bolder flavor. All right, so next thing, you can kind of leave this with some of the spice in there because we're going to add some spice anyway. So 2 teaspoons of walnut oil, or if you don't have walnut oil, you can use olive oil. Coat the pan. So it's walnut oil, the chopped walnuts, and then this is getting a 1/4 teaspoon of more spice. And then you want to stir this up to get the nuts coated in the oil and the spice. And I'll get a bowl ready for that, because again, if you leave this in the pan, even if you take it off the heat, it's going to continue to cook. Okay, this smells very fragrant, so I'm going to take it out. And that's really all the cooking that we're doing for this salad. All right, so the next thing to do is to prep our vegetables. These have all been washed. The asparagus that I got is kind of thick. So there's a couple things we're going to do with this. First of all, we're going to trim off the ends. Okay. And then we are going to cut off the tips. Try to line them up so you can do it in just a couple of knife cuts. All right, so because these are kind of thick, I'm going to cut these tips in half lengthwise. If they were skinny, I would just leave them whole. And they just get added to your serving bowl. right, and then for the stems, we're going to cut them into 1/2-inch pieces on the diagonal. So what I do is kind of stagger them and cut them at an angle. These are like a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch, a little bit smaller than 1/2 inch. All right, so that's the asparagus. And then next we're going to thinly slice up 4 ounces of mushrooms, which is usually 1/2 container. Usually get mushrooms in 8-ounce packages. Okay, and then the last part is scallions or spring onions. Spring onions are in season right now, but we have scallions. So just cut off the ends and just slice them thin. And I go all the way from the white to the green part. I don't use all the green because sometimes at the very end it's kind of dried out. So just whatever looks good. All right. So now we are going to make the dressing. And we'll use the bowl that the toasted spice is in. All right, so we're going to take a tablespoon of tamari. And tamari is different than soy sauce, but you could definitely use soy sauce. Soy sauce has wheat. Tamari is just soybeans. So that's a tablespoon, and I'm adding it to the toasted spice. And then 1.5 tablespoons of ponzu, which is a citrus marinade. You could also use lemon juice. This is 1.5 tablespoons. And then a tablespoon of walnut oil. And again, like I mentioned when we toasted the walnuts in this, if you don't have walnut oil, just use olive oil. Alright, so this just goes over the vegetables. And we'll add the spiced nuts. And we will toss it all together here and get everything coated.